another episode of A Blind Guy.
His wife. All right, let's go.
Let's get live tonight. It's another episode of A Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life Live. We are here with our special series, Our Marriage Needs Help. Again, everybody's marriage could use a little fine-tuning these days and time. And we're going to do in this series is address different topics that allow us to examine different aspects of relationships to help to improve your communication within your marriage. And today we have a special show for you. It's all about, is it okay to have a work spouse, a work wife, a work husband? Sharing your spouse with people and co-workers at work. We're going to talk about that in today's Gridiron Game. Today on Blind Guy,
His Wife,
Their Life Live. So, LaQuita Marie, where do we go to get started?
Well, we have to just check in with everybody out there in virtual land. Guys, we want to make sure you can hear us very well before we bring in our starting lineup. Keep in mind, tonight is just 1 hour. That's right. We get in, we get out. It's a blitz. Is that what you call it in football?
Yes, we're moving fast. There's no huddle, all the way, pedal to the metal. We are going to be doing a spread offense, and we're not going to stop this 2-minute drill all the way through for these 4 downs.
Got it. So if you can hear us okay, just put a 1 in the chat. Let us know that the sound is going great. All those guys, she stole my thunder, says, we hear you. Let's go.
All right, let's go. We're going to get it started. We have an all-star lineup, an all-star starting lineup of special guest panelists today. And there will be an opportunity for you guys to come in and the viewers to come in off the bench and call in and give your opinion on the topic that we're talking about today. Talking about, is it okay to have a work spouse? What is a work spouse? What do work spouses do? And where do you draw the line when it comes to having a quote unquote work spouse? Why are we talking about this topic? Well, it's simple. I'm Corey, I'm blind, and
that means he can't see, his eyes don't work.
Right, I'm not installing mini blinds. But wherever I've gone, whether it's been at university or whether it's been at work, I've always encountered some lovely women that have been there to be friends, platonic friends, that have been there to offer some assistance, whether it's getting to and from the elevator or class, whether it's going to get some lunch together. But it's always been platonic, and LaQuita has always known exactly who these women are. Today, we have the privilege of having 2 of my ex-work wives. They have left to pursue careers in other states and left me with my real wife.
You know what?
So they will be on the panel
today.
It's
about to be a blitz, all right. Keep on.
Today they're going to be on our panel today. So let's jump right into our all-star lineup of guests.
Let's go for it.
First, standing at 7'9", weighing 780 pounds.
Football players aren't that big.
Yeah, they can be. I'm at.
I thought that was basketball.
No.
Okay. This is virtual. Got it.
Running a 4.0 40-yard dash, and he can throw a football 100 yards flat-footed. He is the starting quarterback. He is the businessman himself. He is
not the businessman. He's a millionaire.
He's the millionaire
multimillionaire.
Multimillionaire businessman.
Go ahead.
Multimillionaire businessman. He is none other than Mr. Anton Daniels. We're going to get Mr. Anton Daniels to come in and introduce himself formally.
All right. Welcome.
What's going on, friends? Anton Daniels. Been married for 17, going on almost 18 years now, and run after hours with Anton Daniels, my Anton Daniels channel, and then in addition to that on the LaPeef network. But I'm glad to be here with you guys, and I love you guys. I absolutely adore you guys.
Thank
you, Anton. We're glad to have you as well.
Yes.
So as you can see, he is, he's sitting back. He's got his He's the veteran of the crew, one of the veterans of the crew as far as marriage is concerned. And he's a happily married man. So
absolutely.
Thank you for being here, Anton.
Absolutely. I love you guys.
Thank you. Love you as well. So who's next, Corey?
Next up.
Why are you sitting there chilling?
Because I know you always got something to say.
Oh, you knew I was going to say something.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm not saying anything else. Starting lineup.
Next up on the starting lineup, he is standing at about 8 feet 9 inches, weighing 1,000 pounds.
And they have these dimensions on Madden.
You probably could make it up like that. Okay. He is the starting defensive end. He is none other than the Kosher Clinician himself. What's the deal, clinician? Is everything kosher?
Hey,
everything is kosher, brother, because if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. So my channel is the Kosher Clinician. Shout out to my man Anton. He's a great brother. Shout out to him. My channel is the Kosher Clinician. I've been married for 25 years, I believe. 25 going on 26. And I am a licensed clinical therapist hailing from the Tar Heel State, the greatest state in the union. So shout out to the panel. Shout out to the guests. And let's get a sack. Let's get a sack.
All right, we're gonna forgive you for that stain on your shirt that you got on.
Oh, North Carolina Central, baby, Eagle Pride.
All right, well, thank you, Kosher Clinician, for joining us today. We're gonna go on to our next starting lineup. Now we're on to the petite side of the ball. Our next panelist, all-star panelist, stands at about 5'2", weighing in at probably about a very petite 110 pounds. She is the running back of the crew. She's got speed, she's got talent.
So wait, on Madden, would you have a 5.2 player?
You could.
Like a 5'2"? You
could. Oh, okay. We have none other than Dr. Kadisti. Why coming in to say hello? Come on in, Dr. Kadisti.
Welcome.
Peace, greetings, good people. Corey, I appreciate the reduction in weight, but you need to add about 2 inches to that height. I am Kadisti. I'm a professor of criminal justice and a department chair at HBCU. I am currently in my second marriage.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Kadisti. Thank you for joining us. And so we got from one part of the backfield. Now it's time to go to the defensive side of the backfield. We have.
So wait, the ladies are defense?
No.
Oh.
They're flip-flopping.
Oh, okay. I don't know football. I'm sorry.
So, like, Anton's a quarterback, so Kadisti is his running back.
Oh, okay. They're on the same team.
Yeah, Kosher Clinician is a defensive end. Now, the person bringing in is a free safety. We have standing at 6'9", weighing about 182.
But it's a girl.
I know that.
But you can tell the girl's small.
I can do this.
Okay. Go ahead.
You see how this goes, Kosher Clinician? 152 pounds. She's a lean, mean, fighting machine. This lady hails from the prison deck of the Florida. No, I'm just kidding. This lady hails all the way from Florida. She is none other than the starting free safety for today's lineup. She is JDP. Jessica B. Come on in.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jessica. Excited to be here tonight. I have been married for 13 years now. And I'm glad I did move to Florida, LaQuita, because I would have had to divorce him either way. Or too much.
Wow. Okay, so that's what we're going with all this.
Dang, we don't have our sound effects tonight.
Yeah, we do the sound effects tonight. Well, but
we do have our team colors because Corey is a Washington team. Like
football,
what do you call it? A team formerly known as Redskins.
Oh, okay. Washington football team. So I'm wearing the burgundy, she's wearing the gold. We are here to get it rocking and rolling. So it's time to kick this off so that everybody understands the football format. First down is your foundational play when you just probe the defense a little bit to see what they might be capable of. Second down, you want to try to exploit their weakness and go for the gusto, get a big play and a big chunk of yardage. Even you might want to go for the touchdown. Third down, the defense has stymied you a little bit. So you just want to pick up a few yards so that you can get another first down and keep playing. But sometimes when you hit fourth down, you got to decide whether you want to ground and pound and try to get that extra yardage, or do you just want to give up and punt it away? So that's what we're going to talk about today as we get ready to go into our game, our discussion. Kickoff time.
Wait a minute. You got to warn the people you're going to whistle. This is like virtual. People got headphones in.
It's kickoff time.
The Kosher Clinician is Justin. Like, am I going to be able to work tomorrow?
That was the last time for the whistle. It's kickoff time, and the ball has landed and it's at the 20-yard line, and we're going to go to our starting quarterback to kick off this conversation.
How do we do that?
Mr. Anton Daniels. So the first question is first down.
We go right to the first down.
Right? No. We have to actually show them the video for Kevin Samuels. That's what we're going to do.
All right.
Show them the video for Kevin Samuels. Then we kick it off with first down. Kickoff, Kevin Samuels.
All right. You want to tell them why we're watching this?
We're watching Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels gives a lot of great information to people about managing their relationships. And this one talks about a little about infidelity. It ties into the fact that I have had multiple work spouses. So people always wonder about that. Is there infidelity? So we're going to talk about that. So let's play the clip.
All right, let's go for it. So we have this queued up. It's only about a minute and a half. And so let me know if you guys can see this okay. Looks good there. And let's see. I'm going to just make sure it's full screen so that way you guys can see it and hear it. Now, keep in mind our system is archaic, it's slow, but we're going for it. The volume is up. Let's go.
I think it's a bullshit from an argument.
Because
I'm sorry.
When they look at the infidelity numbers, when they do all the data, 28% of black men in relationships admit to having extramarital or extra-relational affair. No percentage of black women admit to having.
How many?
Yeah.
What percentage?
Yeah.
42.
24. You separate about 4 percentage points. But the way the women talk about it is the men are cheating. No, y'all cheat too. Y'all are cheating more today because men cheating to you guys is we're inserting our penis in someone else. You guys will have male attention around you, which is cheating. You know, cheating to a man is if I'm paying her rent and buying her a car. That's cheating. Cheating for a man is if you're giving him your body, your attention. So how many male friends?
All right, Corey says we can pause it right there.
So we're framing this in the conversation of, we heard Kevin Samuel say, giving another man time and attention, that is a form of infidelity on a woman's part. And so we're kicking this into the court of the fact that these women have been labeled, Jessica and Kadissi have been labeled work spouses, not by me, not by the community, but by other people who have defined them that way.
Yeah.
So we're going to use that as just a little jumping off point here as we go into this discussion. So we're going to put the ball in Mr. Anton Daniels' side of the court, and he's the quarterback, and let him respond to the first question, which is?
All right. We do thank you all for being here while I pull this question up. We see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much. Over the top, WME, Melissa Berry, and Trash Can Waves is in there, Corey.
All right, Trash Can.
Yes. So the role of a work spouse. That is the first question that is up for discussion. And pretty much like, what roles do work spouses play?
And actually, I put this in Anton. I'm going to slide it over because I think it's a more appropriate question for the ladies. So let's slide it out of Anton's hands, and he's going to hand off to Kadissi the tailback, so that she can go ahead and answer that question. In our relationship with Disney, a lot of people might have labeled you as a work spouse. So, what would you define as your roles? What roles did you play in our relationship that people might have assumed or might have thought, okay, that's his work wife, or that's his, university wife? And so go ahead and explain that to
Now,
us.
wait a minute. Are they, G. Albert did ask male or female. We're specifically asking from her perspective, right?
Yes, from her perspective in our relationship as friends.
Got it.
Okay, so although we never worked together, we were at school together for a long time. I would say that our relationship was one of support, friendship. So because we had a lot of classes, we were together a lot. If anyone knows the story, I didn't know Corey was like completely blind at all. Like I just, like he handles himself very well. And so, and one time he asked me to walk him to class, and then we just started kicking it. We was really cool. We liked the same kind of things. And so we kind of like, if he ever needed to get to class or go somewhere, he would, and Corey has to grab your arm. So we would always be arm in arm. So I think that, and I knew Quita too. So it was cool. Like I love Quita. We were all friends. And so because she wasn't on campus, I felt like it was my role to make sure that he got around, that he was good. Like if he wanted to go somewhere, or to make sure he, his ride came or whatever it was. So I think that it was just one of support, looking out. And because I knew Quita was at work, I just wanted to have his back, and vice versa. He did the same for me as well. If I needed someone to pretend to be my man, he was always down to do that. And so he was always my surrogate boyfriend, as running defense. So I appreciated that.
Thank you. Now I will say this. We were supposed to pull up the courtesy clock, and I've been guilty of not putting the clock on people.
On the women. So watch out, fellas. She might cheat you on your time.
I've been guilty of not putting it on people, not women, people. So thank you, Kadissi, for that. We got Perry Unlikely in here too as well, of course. So hello to you, Perry Unlikely, My Vivid Life. Thank you guys for being here. Dr. Omolola Olabade is in here as well. All right, Dr. O.
Dr. O, thank you for joining us. So we're gonna also maybe kick this over to Jessica. You've been in that same position as Kadisha. We worked together for several years. And what did you define? What did you see how did your role develop as my quote unquote work style?
Well, Corey and I, yeah, like he said, we worked together for a few years, and I worked in the admin side of where we worked, and he worked in the, museum side. So I would get bored. I'd just walk over to the museum, and Corey is just an outgoing person. And I kind of took on the same role as, okay, well, hey, Jessica, I need to go such and such. So of course, like, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Kadisha.
No, you got it.
Okay, so just like Kadisha said, if you need to go somewhere, we're usually arm in arm. You want to go to the coffee shop? I like coffee too. Let's go to the coffee shop. You need to run Dollar General? I need something too. Let's walk to Dollar General. So it was, like she said, more one of support, and it was a genuine friendship there. I didn't meet Quita until after I met Corey, so now I feel like a little
side chick.
Yeah, but it was never anything out of the way with that. I was definitely one of it was a support role, but then a friendship.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So far, so good. And Corey, I did attempt to pull up the work, what do you call it? Not the work clock, the courtesy clock. Everyone here, you saw that. I really tried. It wasn't me, Corey. It's the system.
Now watch this. As soon as I pull the guys up, okay, the courtesy clock's gonna start working.
Hey, before the billions, how you doing tonight?
Before the billions, thanks for joining us this evening.
Very unlikely too. He was talking about crypto. So
Very unlikely is here as well. So now we're gonna kick it to the fellow side of the court. We're gonna go to second now. We've heard from the ladies. The ladies.
So the guys don't answer this question.
The guys don't answer this question, but they can actually have a response to what the lady said. So we'll get the guys.
I'm wondering, can you really see though? Because you just picked the most beautiful women, and so I'm just wondering if, like, maybe we all getting tricked. Have you ever seen that movie with Christian Bale where he was the magician? What was the name of the movie with Christian Bale and he was the magician? And it was two of them, and they fooled everybody.
Anton, you see what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I see it.
Well, thank you for that. But it's funny, and that's one of the questions we'll address later on. But Anton, what do you think about the role of work spouse as from the standpoint of what you heard them say? And if you had any experiences like that in all your years of being out here in the relationship, working and doing business, what do you think about what these ladies have said, Anton?
I think the role of a work spouse is to be emotionally connected to a guy, which in my opinion it leads to, in most instances, maybe not in your specific instances because of your unique situation, but I think often at times it puts women in a position to be emotionally connected to a guy that they probably wouldn't otherwise be emotionally connected to in most situations. I think that is always an avenue and a tunnel and a crack in the armor to ultimately lead to something that will probably drive a woman to explore her options. And often at times it fills a void for something that she may be lacking at home. Or it's supplemental. So I often at times think that the role of a work spouse for women and men is similar, is different because of how men see women and how women see men. Often at times when you find a woman that cheats, she has to cheat because it's either out of revenge or some level of emotional connection or tie. Most women don't cheat just from desire. That's something that men usually live in that space. But men will entertain it also because they often at times also like to embrace the possibility of what if, but it often serves as an avenue, in my opinion, for people to get into something that they wouldn't normally get into. And we give the excuse that it's just somebody that we work with, when in reality it's a possibility of getting, for something to go further, to be honest with you.
All right. He finished with 5 seconds left. Okay.
Go ahead, time. That's what I'm talking about. Remember that 2-minute drill, sir. Just coincidence
that I got the clock working.
See how that works. All right, Kosher Clinician, we're gonna throw the ball to your side of the field because what's your response to?
Wait, Corey, I gotta set the clock again.
Well, I got.
How much time does he get?
He's 2 minutes.
Oh,
We're gonna actually give you the actual same question. You can respond to what you heard all through the other panelists say when it comes to what do you think the role of or the definition of a work spouse is and how that works in a relationship.
Well, listen. In clinical therapy, you can't lie, and I tend to concur with Anton. Needs drive behaviors, and so when a woman is not getting her needs met, she's placed in an uncanny predicament where she could be tempted to commit infidelity. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm like Fleet, that guy named Fleet in the prison. I see you and I want you, and so I'm gonna get a sack. So if I find a woman that I like and she's attractive, I'm gonna put myself in a position where I'm gonna make her vulnerable. And so I agree with Anton. I don't even like the word work spouse because it carries a very negative connotation, a very negative euphemism. I would say work associate, but work spouse. I had a colleague one time when I was at UNC. I think she liked me because she called me her work husband, but we never crossed boundaries. But I don't like the connotation because the gospel said, "Let water flow from your own cistern." And so, if there's anything lacking in your relationship, you should work to get that from your spouse instead of seeking it outside the relationship, in my opinion.
Okay. All right.
wow. And he still has 60 seconds on the clock. Do we give that away so that you and I respond as well?
Well, yeah, I think what we'll do is, and I definitely can appreciate what all parties are saying because definitely Kadisha can attest to it and Jessica can attest to it. There's always some air of mystique and wonder about the nature of our relationship because they would see us from time to time, walking and laughing and talking. They might have to give me a ride because my ride situation didn't show up. But
you got
again,
30 seconds, Corey.
But again, like you said, like Anton said, it was a unique situation, me being vision impaired. It was more of a support role than it was anything emotional. And it just developed into a friendship. Now, the one thing I will say is I kept it clean because there's not a woman that I know that my wife does not know and know very well has phone numbers, their extensions at work, their cell phone numbers. It's not a situation I try to hide anything. And I definitely, as attractive as ladies are,
Corey.
I have my woman right here beside me.
5, 4. Are you done?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Corey, that was the first down. Now, we got Shay TBD in there. Hey there, Shay, saying Coach gets points.
All right.
Is that right? Because Dr. O also says, agreed with Kosher Clinician, work associate is appropriate.
Right. And again, it goes to phraseology. I think that's definitely a term that gets tossed around, but it's never done by the people involved in the relationship. I never ever called Kadisha my school wife, or I never called Jessica my work wife. I always just called them my friends.
Right.
Even I might say Kadisha and I would say sister and brother. So, and yes, I played a defensive role when there was some dude hawking on Kadisha at college. I would say, "Oh, she's like, Corey, you got to be my boyfriend for a little while." I said, "Got you." And
Corey, we're going into overtime. We got to get you a second down.
Yeah, I know. You threw the ball well. So you guys gave some great answers to that first question. And we're gonna drop the link so people that want to chime in.
Yeah, so we start with the second down, and then some people can
chime in coming off the bench. You're gonna allow 6 people in off the bench, not per down, but for the rest of the show. So
All
get
right.
the link and click in, and then we're gonna tap you out as 6 people. So with that being said,
just so you know, Corey, Dr. O does say that the usage of the word work spouse is a slippery slope.
Definitely, I definitely
I don't
understand that.
know.
But again, that's not something we never use in our relationships. We were just friends, work associates, co-workers, schoolmates, things of that nature. So yeah, definitely. So Kosher Clinician and Anton, everybody gets a point for that one.
Okay.
We're gonna move
So
on.
does that mean the ladies are winning, or everybody just has a point?
Everybody has a point. They're tied up.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on to the second down question.
Why be a work spouse? What are the pros and cons of being a work spouse or having a work spouse? And of course, like Dr. O said, we're using that term loosely because it's a popular term, but not necessarily one that anyone here on the panel is embracing per se.
Right. We kind of touched on this already, so we'll kick this one over to the Kosher Clinician. What are the pros and what are the cons of being a quote-unquote work spouse? And you can answer that however you want to answer that. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, Kosher.
Well, there are definitely pros if they add to your mental acumen. They're definitely pros. If they are someone that you can confide in with some of the basics, if your spouse knows about them, there could be pros. They say like if Anton's if he was a woman and he's a business associate of mine, he could give me some pointers to help my business grow. So if it's platonic, they don't have no mutual attraction for one another, it could have some pros. But the cons are, if there's a mutual attraction, if that man finds that woman attractive, it can be very deleterious. Let me tell the audience something. Most men don't want to be your friend, especially if they find you attractive. Now, they might not cross that line, but if you do something that's unsavory or out of order, that man might take that position, especially if you find you attractive. And then also because, in my mind, women should reflect the essence of their husband. A woman should reflect what I call the glow or the glory of a husband. And so a woman should be not sharing some of the intimate details with her husband and with another man, in my opinion. It should only be with his wife. And so it becomes very slippery when you're sharing intimate details, because women tend to get imprinted or can get imprinted mentally by a man. So, it has its pros. If it's platonic, there's an understanding, the boundaries are clear. When you do talk to that person, you're doing it in front of your spouse out of respect. But, a lot of times these secret clandestine operations where you're walking out to talk to them, if the lines are blurry or not clear, it can potentially cause issues. I have a work associate that's a great friend, but we're just friends, and I keep it like that. To be clear, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we just had to mute because there was a slight ringing according to the audience, and he got in there with 20 seconds left.
Kosher Clinician beat the clock too. Now I can just feel it coming off of Dr. Kadisty as a response that she's waiting to give. So we're gonna put her on the clock again. So Dr. Kadisty, what's your response to what the Kosher Clinician is saying?
Oh wait, let me unmute. I'm sorry, let me unmute you. Okay. All right, Dr. K, let us know what you say.
I was just saying, I'm in agreement with the brothers. I don't disagree with anything they said. I think that as long as, and for us, a lot of the times our, particularly my first marriage, like all of us would be around each other a lot. So we would, like couples would be together talking about marriage and talking about the ups and downs. And so, going into a situation like that, the couple might share, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. This is not, like what you're willing to put on the table in front of a group. And so I think that for Corey and Quita and I, like it was stuff that we would talk about all together. And so if there was another conversation, it was almost like a follow-up. So it really was never out of like disrespect. It might be like you're frustrated. So you're like, okay, how would you perceive this situation? Like, what would you do? Or like, I might be like, this is what I think you need to say. Like, you're missing the point, Corey. And I think that part of the being honest with each other, like in both platonic, same sex and opposite sex, is like calling people on their stuff. So if Corey was wrong in a situation and he comes to me, then I'm not going to be his friend and be like, yeah, that's right. Like, I'm gonna be like, bruh, you were wrong in that case. And same thing for Quita. And I think they both held me accountable in the same way. I think for cons, people are going to talk. So people that see you together might think something else, or they might try to make something bigger than it is. If a spouse voices an insecurity about that relationship, then there needs to be an adjustment made. So I think it becomes problematic if someone is saying, I have a problem with how you're handling this, and the other spouse is like, nope, that's my friend, you're gonna have to adjust. Like, I think that as long as you're prioritizing the person you're married to and taking their feelings into consideration, then I think that it can be beneficial. But I do understand what both of the gentlemen are saying, that it can become a slippery slope. And I think females are a little more, I don't want to say, I'll say that I'm a little more like, oh, everybody's lovely, everyone's great, let's all be friends. And, I could be kind of naive, I guess, in some situations with male intentions. And so usually it's nice, to have your husband or another male say like, nah, I think, that tell that brother to pump the brakes, or, make sure you establish boundaries.
All right.
Wonderful. That's what I'm talking about. 10 seconds left on the clock. Okay.
All right. So we're going to bounce this back to the chairman of the board, Mr. Anton James. What do you have to say about the pros and cons of this work spouse relationship?
Now, before you chime in, Anton, I do want to let everybody know I did drop the link. So if you'd like to come in off the bench and chime in on this question, do so. Go ahead, Anton.
I don't believe in a such thing, or I don't believe that you can really be friends with the opposite sex. I think that in most situations, I don't see any pros, long story short, with having a work spouse. Outside of given a unique situation, I think overwhelmingly what you'll find is that by default, men that are friends with women are not friends voluntarily. They're put in the friend zone involuntarily, waiting for an opportunity to find a way into that little spot so that they can capitalize off of it, because men largely are apex predators. We're hunters, and you guys are the hunted. And so, especially for a person that's in a marriage or in a relationship, I don't believe in even putting yourself in a position to have to be tempted. I think that the best way is to always stay out of the way. And so, I say it's overwhelmingly all cons. You putting yourself in a position to where it only take a slight second for you to fall into a space to where you then have to, especially for women, it's way worse for women because women get attached emotionally. Like the Kosher Clinician said, you get imprinted on. And when you get attached emotionally, then all of a sudden you start comparing every single thing that work husband is doing to the things that somebody may be a little bit more complacent about at home. So I don't believe in friendship between men and women largely. I think that you find yourself in a space where you start to fall into the temptation that you place yourself in a position where you got to deny it every single day. I don't think that you'll ever be able to recover for it. So if you really want to be safe, then find yourself in a space where your wife is your best friend or your husband is your best friend instead of the people that you networking with every day. And if you really need some friends outside of it, then get you some married friends to go and kick it with on a majority basis. But most people are not built, especially men. Most people are not built to have spouses or work husbands or work wives in any capacity. In any capacity, women will find themselves emotionally connected to guys they never even would have gave a chance to in the first place. And men are always waiting for an opportunity to find themselves into a space where they can capitalize and possibly not even meant to be there in the first place. So I think the best course of action is to stay away, and there are no pros at all.
Boy, quarterback Anton Daniels dropped back, evaded depression, and threw it long with a deep comeback on that one. All right. So JDP, Jessica, you on the clock. So
all right. So let you know, we do have two people that are waiting to come in off the bench. We got XDMC and Brother Clarence. Let's talk for Better Black Life.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and let JDP give her a minute to respond, and then she can we'll go get the guys off the bench.
All right.
All right. Well, I wholeheartedly agree with everything everybody said. The last gentleman, Anton.
Yes.
I am right there with you. I don't know if it's the Southern in me, but of course, Corey's situation is unique. But I wholeheartedly agree. I don't feel like there can be a strictly platonic relationship between men and women. I've been in those situations prior to my marriage. I've been in those situations where, like you said, women, we get emotionally attached. Not to say that, I struggle with it. I'm not going to speak for Kadisi. She might have a different, situation surrounding platonic friendships. But I know myself, I don't see any benefits in it past a certain point. My husband and I, we've had this conversation. He's military. He's a social butterfly. He's outgoing. And that's one of the areas where we clash. Old school, whatever, again, my husband should be my best friend. I should be his best friend. What you need to talk to her for outside of work, what I need to talk to him for outside of work. But then I don't know. Again, Corey's situation is different, which makes me kind of question other things. But I feel,
Hold on, wait. Corey said, when you said Corey's situation is different, which made me question a lot of other things. Right. Corey said, dang, what does that mean?
Yeah, 100% honest. If Corey was not blind, we would not have had the relationship that we have, to be honest with you. I would not have had I don't like to put myself in positions of temptation simply because of, experiences I've had in the past. Not to say I haven't grown, I haven't matured. I can't overcome those temptations, but I personally, especially now as a married woman, I don't want to give room for the devil to jump in. So that's just my point of view. I'm with him 100%. I don't think there should be. Yeah.
And just to clarify a point that Anton brought up earlier.
Wait, because the chat is all saying Anton is spot on. Yeah. Anton knows his stuff. The Kosher Clinician is good. They're not even saying that, Kadisi, JP, yeah, they're awesome.
And just for the record, Anton remarked earlier on the ladies being lovely ladies. I cannot see. I cannot see.
I don't know about that.
This is not a visual selection. This was just a natural occurrence of a blind man need to get to class and get some lunch at work. So
how about we pull up some folks from the back and see what they got to say?
we got somebody that was didn't even make the team. He was on the practice squad. We brought him up today just so he could play. We're gonna bring up ex-DMC.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ex-DMC.
All right, ex-DMC, what are the rules for it before we get started?
Ex-DMC, you got a minute on the clock to respond to any
anything
aspect that these people have brought up on our panel today.
All right.
One love, family. First, check out the gear. I got my shirt from your store.
He has his all the way live shirt. Thank you.
Thank you, Rocky.
All the way live. And now, okay, this is an interesting topic in the sense that I never really, I won't say I haven't been in a situation like that, but with what I do for a living and where I work, most of the people are so much younger than me. And I am in a director supervisor position. And pretty much it's like a work spouse. Spouse is a very sacred word for me. I can only have one. I would never, ever call another woman that. Even if she wants to be called, no, that's it. As far as me being friends with other women, I don't have a problem with that. I feel I can be because I ain't looking for nothing. What I got at home satisfied me. It's like having that full cup, that good iced tea. I don't need any. It's like when Caesar went to Cleopatra and said, "Hey, I can offer. I want you to be my queen. I can offer you anything." And she said, "What the hell can you offer me that Egypt has not given me already?" And that's how I roll with my wife. And what I do with female who are friends, I make sure the first thing I bring up is my marriage, is my wife, and how fine she is, how long I've been married, and that sets up the relationship right there. And then if I see she wants to go and take it someplace else, boom, cut off, because I ain't looking for nothing. You can't be tempted by something you ain't looking for.
That's not true. You can always be tempted by something you're not looking for.
So
I'm gonna say that's not true for certain individuals, but it's very true for me. For me, I've been married 31 years, and now I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm Superman. Because if Halle Berry,
I'm glad you're being real.
If me and Halle Berry was in the room, even Halle Berry today, and she made a move, I cannot sit here and honestly say I will push her away. So what do? I do not, because I'm not looking for that. I make sure I would never be alone in a room with her. Because I won't accidentally fall into it.
But here's the key, though. When you emphasize that you've been married and all of this other type of stuff, I don't know if you realize it or not, but it makes you more desirable and attractive to women. If I wear my ring, I'm much more desirable and attractive to women than if I don't. Women want things that other women want subconsciously. Sometimes they don't even know it. You are more desirable and you are more valuable the more desired that you are. So you leading with that does not necessarily do anything in order to stop somebody from wanting or going after you. Now, I don't question your character or the fact that you don't want nobody else, but I'm just saying that don't necessarily mean anything to the people if they really want you.
I definitely co-sign with that. I've heard that with other people, but I would say for myself, it helps me weed out that friendship or relationship anyway. As soon as I put the marriage out there, and if that makes me more desirable, one, if she is desired by me because I'm married, then that's no longer can be somebody I can associate with. I cut it off right there.
So wait a second, guys. How do we? What do you call it, Corey, in football when you want to break? Like not
time out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Time out.
So we're gonna take a TO.
So we have to, because everybody Okay, I just have a question for Anton. Anton, did you plant people in the audience? Because everybody's like, Operator G, Anton knows his stuff. And he's like, Anton is the man, and we got other people in there. Anton is on point. But marinate on that, Scorpion.
I gotta go with Anton because Anton, I've been in that situation. When I had my wedding ring on, I got more play than a 1950s record at an old folks' home. But when I took the ring off, nobody said nothing to me. They didn't bother me. And I was like, well, dang, this is kind of weird. But it actually, that's why people say, you married? Yes, I am. And they're like, why you don't have your ring on? I said, I don't need a ring to know that I'm married. I said, but I took that off because it was kind of like, that Batman sign flashing in the air. Hey, come pick me, come pick me, come pick me. So I get you what you're saying.
I mean, if you want to ever become more attractive, then make yourself less available. If you ever want to become more attractive to the opposite spouse, especially for a man, level up. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Learn how to say no. You'll have more than you ever had in your entire life. Too many guys. The problem is that too many guys are desperate and they chasing. You don't need to chase it. All you need to do is just be awesome. And when you level up and you become the best version of yourself, and that's why I use the phrase, and it's figurative. I say chase checks instead of chasing chicks. What I'm saying is become the best version of yourself. Level up. Go to the gym. Become more spiritual. Build your network. Spend more time on becoming a more cultured person. Learn a different language. Spend some time traveling. Spend some time dating yourself, and then you will naturally, by default, become one of the most attractive people to the people that are around you, because they understand that you're not easily available because you're busy, you high value, you awesome, and you growing, and they want to ultimately be in your sphere. If a guy wants to become more attractive, learn how to say no.
So, Anton, we are not going into overtime tonight. I forgot to put up the clock just now when you were talking.
I'm sorry.
So who else?
But we do appreciate. Thank you. We do appreciate your input. Of course, the crowd is loving you tonight, so we let you go a little long. What do you call it, Corey? When the refs favor the player, but instead of calling it cheating, you got cheating. But I thought it was offside. No, that's not offside. No, okay, just forget it.
So let's bring. We want to thank XDMC for coming in.
I want to ask you a question, Corey, on something you said, if that's okay. You said when you wear the ring, you got more play. My question is, how did you respond to that? Because you were married. So when you got the play, how did you respond to that?
I would do this. All right, my number. No, I didn't do that.
Because I do understand that with the ring, but I also understand environment also. And I will co-sign something that Shay wrote when she said, when I see a man with a ring, they become invisible with me. Those are the type of sisters that I surround myself by and let in my circle.
Yeah,
it's been worked out perfectly. No, I'm not going to say perfectly, because one caught feelings in me helping her out with some advice. And I had to say, okay, listen, I'm helping you. I'm giving you advice and telling you what works for me and my household, to see what you can take away from that. I ain't saying come into my household and I'm getting rid of my wife. So boom, that was ended.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the courtesy clock up because he keeps trying to get more time.
Yeah, my response was just simply like, whenever I felt that way, that it was going left, then I always just pull back from that particular person and make sure I never put myself in a position to where they might feel like, oh, we got a long time now. I was like, no, nope. They were, can you come to my house and help? No, I cannot. But we can meet at the coffee shop, and my wife will bring me there, and we can sit down and go with this group project we got to do for class or something like that. So those are the ways I would handle it. I just never put myself in a position of being once I put it out there and they kept coming on, I was quickly
cutting them off
and removing myself.
Before I had to get the cutting. All right, we're gonna have to cut you here, XDMC.
Thanks, XDMC. We're gonna thank you for coming in off the bench. Who else is coming in off the bench on this?
Are we bringing them in on this play or the next play?
We're gonna bring them on the next play.
All right, guys, we gotta keep this moving forward. We told you this is a 1 hour production, and you guys are helping us to get it there.
All right, so the next question is third down.
Yeah, so we talked about the role of a work spouse, the work spouse pros and cons. Now, why be a work spouse? Is this something that you choose? Is this like, how does this exactly happen? I guess, is the best way to describe it. And
we'll frame this in the context of the friendships that developed between Jessica and I and Kadisha and I. Is that something you chose to do, or is it something you just kind of fell into that role just because of the nature of your personality and the nature of us interaction, and of course the nature of, we said it several times, my unique circumstances of me being vision impaired. Either one of you can kick it off.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jessica. Are you gonna say something?
I would say more or less it was something I chose to do. I don't know. Like I said, because the situation with Corey is unique, typically I wouldn't have those types of relationships. And that's what, makes it, there are, good people who are not females who I can be friends with. So, his situation kind of made me question some of my own beliefs. But for the most part, it was just, okay, Corey, he's cool people. Let's walk. This is not I didn't feel like it was a relationship I would have to hide from my husband, or a relationship he would have to hide from his wife, because I knew no boundaries would be crossed. I was comfortable enough to say, okay, well, yeah, I can take on, and I don't like the title work spouse either, but I'm cool with being his friend. I'm cool with being his associate. So.
All right. Oh, I thought I had to break out the courtesy clock. Okay, well, let me put that back. Go ahead, Karina. Did you want to chime in there?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that what Jessica said about Corey being visually impaired, I think played a role definitely, because there's a certain level of comfort. So if you don't think someone's trying to come at you, or, I think that you're more relaxed in that situation. I met Corey when I was 19, 18. I wasn't married. I was a sophomore in college. And I think that we just connected because we were in a lot of the same classes, and we were both very Afrocentric. So our commentary was similar. And so I think that after class, when he was like, hey, let's talk a little bit more about this. I think y'all were already married. And so with my first husband, like when I first met him, like y'all were some of the first people I took, I was like, y'all got to come meet Corey and Quita together, because I was so impressed with your relationship. And I wanted to be able to like grow in that with my spouse. I think that Shay TB said something, and I think that I just wanted to highlight it because it was kind of overlooked, that I think that as people, we're both impressionable. So I think some of the commentary is like females are extra sensitive to being impressionable. And I do think that there's an energy exchange between both groups of people. And as males and females, of course, we play different roles. So I'm not trying to say that there's not a role a husband plays versus a wife, but I think that the exchange it's a mutual exchange. And for me, Corey and I's relationship has always been like symbiotic, where I got benefits and he got benefits. I would agree that the terminology, like we've never called each other that, like, I think it's disrespectful to Quita, like it became more of a joke more so than anything else, but I would never say that's my work husband. It would be disrespectful to my spouse as well. So, I think it serves a purpose in certain circumstances. And I do think that boundaries have to be extremely clear to have a male-female platonic relationship. But I'm not one that thinks it can't ever exist. Like there's other guy friends that I've known my whole life that never stepped out of pocket, and I wouldn't step out of pocket. So I think it just depends on the people.
All right, Kosher, your ball's in your court.
All right.
Well, I think it's fair what Kadisha said. I think it's fair. I will say there are times.
Your volume is low.
Can you guys hear me?
You sound a little bit low to us.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Let me make sure you're also highlighted.
Yeah, I turned the mic down. I got an awesome mic, so I didn't want to blow it up. Y'all might hear Barry White, but anyway, yeah. So are there situations that's a caveat to the conversation? I agree with Anton 100%. In general, it doesn't work. Can there be caveats to the conversation? Yes, it can be caveats. Now, I've been around women I don't find attractive, and we could be cool. If I don't find them attractive, see no forms of attraction for them, then I could be cool with them if I don't see them as attractive. But if I have a level of attraction or a high level of attraction, we can't be friends, because I'm gonna put myself in a very precarious predicament, and I might get a sack. So I don't want to get too many sacks, and so. So I would say, for the most part, that holds true. And also another thing, you know, there are some women that are alpha predators too, Antoine. I'm sure you agree with us. There are some women that are alpha predators. You know, it's not always the men. You know, there are many women that are alpha predators, and Anton is correct. It's a psychology behind being unavailable. You know, because women by nature they want to look up to a man, and so if that man is on his purpose and he's on his mission, then that means she's more or less deferring to his power. So I think men need to more or less, you know, be aware and careful, you know, and why there can be some levels of friendship to a degree, there must be boundaries consistently, especially if there's a high level of attraction or some level of attraction. Because as Anton said earlier, most guys are not trying to be your friends. Most guys are just waiting for the opportunity, especially the ones in the friend zone. So.
All right.
Got it. Okay. We had time left. And you know, we do have, you want to bring somebody in off the bench?
Bring somebody in off the bench.
All right. It looks like you are up. Brother Clarence, the Better Black Life. Welcome.
What's going on, y'all? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, bro, Clarence.
We can hear you.
Hey. I just want to say thank y'all, man. Y'all always come over and show me love. So I said, man, what they on now? Let me go show them some love. So, and appreciate you, panel. What's up, brother AD? What's up, Kosher Clinician? What's up, all the rest of the panel? How you guys doing out there?
What's going on, my friend?
Can I just say one other thing?
Hold on a second.
You know, everybody give a prayer to MTR. He's going under that surgery today, so everybody give him MTR a prayer. All right, sorry, y'all.
Go ahead.
No. I was. You guys were asking me a question. I was gonna answer your question.
No, the question is basically you can respond to any of the aspects that any of the panelists brought up today that struck a chord with you.
Yeah, so far about being a work spouse. Have you ever been a work spouse to somebody? What does that look like?
Pros and cons.
What are your pros and cons? What are your thoughts in general?
I've seen that a lot. I work for Fortune 500 size company, probably about 12 or 15,000 employees. So I've seen that a lot, different settings, and it never really turns out good in the end. You know what I mean? I kind of agree with Kosher Clinician. If you don't have an attraction to the female, then it's a little easier to manage. But if the female has a stronger attraction to you, then sometimes it's a little more difficult. And then it's especially difficult for certain types of people. Certain types of people are, they can create their own sexual tension. So if they can create their own sexual tension, then it might be a problem, because what happens is when you're that type of person and you walk into a room, the room could be full, but if there's another person, a female, that can do the same thing, you guys are going to find each other, right? You guys, that person's going to wake up, they're going to feel your vibe, you're going to feel their vibe, and you're going to be attracted to each other. So my advice is, well, I'm not going to give that advice. Let me give this advice, because what I do is I just got old and ugly, so I don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. You know, so, but the rest of you guys that are young and, you know, you're going to work for a company and you want to put your all into a company until you can build up enough money to get start your own business, avoid those types of situations, because, you know, you can be cordial with somebody, but all of that work husband and all of that touching and stuff. I just did a live stream on how people can get sexual tension started. That's going to get that all started. And before you know it, you're going to fall into a situation with somebody. And that's not good, in my opinion. That's all I got to say.
All right, Brother Clarence, thanks for stopping by now. Brother Clarence, so you said all that touching and stuff. So I'm just supposed to like walk beside them and just follow their voice?
Well, no, man, you just, you know what I'm saying? You just don't want to get into it where, you know, see, when you use a word like work husband or work wife, that makes a person comfortable. That actually, it's a psychological game where if you call a person that's not your husband, psychologically it's giving you the making you think it's okay because I can touch my husband. That's a legal move, right? Mm-hmm. So, but it's psychologically opening doors that you don't need to open. You can be friendly with the person, but you don't have to, when they get touched, whoa, wait a minute, hold on, sis. Hold on. I just want you to be sure that we not going to where we're not supposed to go. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it depends on how much somebody respects their primary relationship. If they respect it enough, then they will respect it. If not, if there's problems or fires burning underneath the surface, then like a volcano, at some point it's gonna come up.
Gotcha. And I appreciate that. I was just kind of messing with them on that one because, again, a lot of context of the relationship between Kadisha and Jessica is because of the close contact. I have to hold on to their elbow to walk with them. And it never was like we were holding hands arm in arm. When they said arm in arm, it was more or less, kind of your arm.
Yeah, he was holding on literally to their elbow.
Yeah, so but
they're both on their
situation, brother. You got a special situation. But I'm talking about the average young brother that's out there, trying to get this.
Ironically, though, because we did, people would say, I see you walking all close together. I'm like, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. But Brother Clarence, we're going to thank you. Thank you for chiming in. And we're going to move on to our fourth.
Thank you for having me. Y'all definitely pray for MTR.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you. Thank you.
That was really some good commentary coming from the panelists and the guys coming off the bench. So where do we go? What's our last question for the day before the game is over?
All right, guys. This is a 1 hour production. We are 5 minutes left in the game. And so the last one is where to draw the line. Where do you draw the line? I think we've been touching on that a lot. So why not bring in, some of the people off the bench and see what they have to say?
All right.
Because the panelists have really been doing a great job. So let's bring in YouTuber herself, Melissa Berrien. Hello.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Peace.
Absolutely great conversation. Anton, I'm an early childhood educator, and I was in the background rooting for you and wanting you to kiss your brain. That's what we tell the little kids when they're saying something just amazing. I wanted you to just mwah, mwah. Absolutely 100% true. And touchdown or field goal. One of them.
Flag on the play.
What does that mean?
She came in and gave props to Anton. Didn't even say no props to the host.
Hey,
I'm getting there.
Offside.
I'm getting there. Sometimes they get on the field and do stuff, and then they go greet the other team. So I was just being like that. But anyway, thanks for having me, you guys. And this is absolutely an appropriate conversation because I think it goes along with all the other stuff that we kind of hear in society, bad girl summer, this. These are just terms that people just think we're just going to spill out loosely, but they don't understand the connotations behind them. And so when I think about my husband, who's a gentleman, and I think, oh, does he have a work wife? I'm thinking, is he going to get her coffee like he does me? Is he opening up her door? He going to get her files? He's doing no, sir. No. It's a professional. I'm going fast because I don't want the clock, but it's a professional arena, and it needs to be kept professional. And I agree with Anton. Like, no, that outside of marriage, male-female relationships, if someone friends my husband and she's a female and she didn't friend me, red flag. Nope, you don't receive her. But question to the panelists. As I was sitting here listening, I think that it's a difference between how it's received between the spouses and the females and the males. Even as I'm listening to you guys, I'm like, oh, that's so noble. The men are protecting their marriages and everything. But I think as a wife, we come off as the crazy jealous wife. You know what I mean? Instead of the same thing. So you guys, that's all I have to say. Comment. Let me know what you think about that.
Let me take it down.
Thank you very much, Melissa. And you can bring another play off the bench.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Melissa. We will see you soon. You have a live stream yourself tonight with couples at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep. All right, because you're in a different time zone. So I thank you so much, Gail, for dropping Melissa's channel link. So, okay, in a couple of hours, guys, you can be 1 hour from now. We'll take a short break. Yeah, you want to head over to there. You can see us all again. We'll be over there on your panel, and we're looking forward to it. All right. Thank you, Melissa. All right. So, wait, I think I took her down and added her. Lord knows. Before the billions, bring them in.
All right, before the billions, come on off the bench and give us. You can respond to any of the topics that panelists have discussed today. But you got to unmute.
Wait, why he look frozen? Is that an avatar? What's going on with him?
No, I'm actually frozen. I don't know why StreamYard does this to me. But I'll be quick because I know you only got like a like 1 minute left. So
Oh,
I want to
1
just come
minute.
up and say thank you to the panel for having me on. Also, I'll say that I agree with Anton. As always, right? And the reason why is because as a man, you have to have a certain level of discipline, and you want to be away from all temptation. I know some people come up here and say, "Hey, I can beat temptation," when in fact, temptation beats you every single time. So the only way to kind of avoid that kind of work husband, work wife relationship is just avoid it. And it's something that Steve Harvey has brought up before. It's like, hey, men can't be friends with women, and I disagree with that because you can most definitely be friends with women, but you cannot be sexually attracted to them. So it kind of goes in line with what Kosher Clinician was saying, and also what Anton Daniels was saying as well. But I do appreciate you guys for having me up, and just wanted to keep it quick.
I do have a quick question for you. How old are you? And I know we dropped your YouTube channel because you're a content creator as well. So you guys check them out.
Flag on the play.
Why?
Because before the days I never respond to my fade, they respond to emails.
Oh, Corey says he sent you an email. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So quick question, because you're a younger person, and Brother Clarence was like, "Oh, I'm old," and so it's different for me. So do you think that makes a difference? Age for you, does that make a difference? What have you seen?
Yes, so I am currently 26 years old. I am working in corporate, and to me, everybody's older than me, and everybody is of a different culture. Because I'm a software, well, I'm a data engineer, but can interchange with software engineer. So I'm not gonna have people who are like 26 years old and also black as well. So I don't, it's not like I actually go around and plus I'm working remote. So I don't even have that kind of relationship with anybody. But I have seen it, right? When I was in offices and you would see people who had that work husband, work wife relationship. And I'll tell you this is that people get in trouble every single time when they get into that situation, especially when I actually know some of the people who work in HR. Because they try to keep away from having relationships within the corporate environment.
All right.
Nice.
Well, thank you before the billions for joining us. And so what we want to do is that we're going to sum this up.
We got to say goodbye to him for now.
We're going to say goodbye to the
All right. Thank you.
So we kind of answered this last question, but where do we draw the line? We're going to start with the ladies, and we're going to go around to the Kosher Clinician. We'll finish up with Brother Anton Daniels. So ladies.
So this is how we finish the game. Is this how we determine who wins? Like, did we get points?
We'll discuss the MVP of the game. So we'll start off and put the ball in your court, JDP. What are your thoughts? Where do you draw the line in this quote unquote? We've thrown this term around, quote unquote, work spouse relationship.
Anything that I feel like I have to hide from my spouse, anything that I feel makes me, uncomfortable. If I can't have a conversation with you around my husband, or, vice versa, same with you. If I can't, you can't have a conversation with me around your wife, then I feel like, okay, well, what's the real deal? Like I said, I didn't meet Quita until after you, but
you knew about it before.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you told me about it before. But I don't know, anything that makes me uncomfortable. My spirit feels a certain way person. So if I feel something in my spirit that's not right, okay, well, that's where I got to draw the line. So anything that makes me,
Got it. Oh, that's it for you?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay. Dr. K, it's on you.
I would say the same thing. I think that over the years, y'all both have had the same level of affection. I think the most I've ever done with either one of y'all is hug you. So I think that there's just clear, it's more of a family. I think that, I definitely see you all both collectively as family. And there are times where I've had conversations just on the phone with Corey, and Quita might be in the background. There's probably times where Quita hasn't been there, but it's the same conversation, whether she's there or not. Like, there's never been any situations where I've said anything inappropriate or someone else or he did. So I think that, when it's it can start off as friends, but you kind of become family or siblings. I think just making sure you have very clear boundaries and that, you know, you behave yourselves the way that you would if the other person was in the room the whole time. And I don't think, you know, I think that that's just the way to carry it.
All right. Well,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Jay. And Kosher Clinician.
You are up next.
Well,
What are you
listen,
drawing what are you drawing out?
can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound good.
I would say that men by nature are very masculine, and the more masculine a man is, the more territorial that he's going to be. And you know, and for all the pundits to say he's insecure, no, he's not insecure. Men are actually marking their territory, and so yes, in the criminal justice field, because I did go to school for law enforcement, I got my first degree in law enforcement. It does depend on the intent, but the boundaries must be clear and consistent at all times to have an equitable relationship. I think once those boundaries are crossed, once the relationship is not established, that person can always be tempted to go into the dark side. So I would say keep the boundaries clear, understanding the psychology of men and women, and let water run from its own cisterns. That's my closing remarks.
Thank you, Kosher Clinician.
All right.
Now we're gonna go to Mr. Anton Dance to wrap it up. I already know he's got a line drawn in the sand that he's not gonna cross. So we're gonna let him go ahead and tell us about it. Go ahead. Where do you draw the line, Anton?
I know it's a lot of people that say stuff like, why would I limit myself? I can have friends from the opposite sex, so on and so forth. Let me tell you something. The biggest kingdoms have been brought down through somebody thinking that they're stronger than they really are. That's real talk. Like, you really need to go and do a self-assessment every single day. Every single day, do a self-assessment, do a self-check, put yourself in a position of great power and understand that you're not as strong as you think you are. You're not. And let's be clear. A lot of people also say things like, well, if I'm not attracted to them and so on and so forth. You spend enough time with somebody, you're going to find some things that they smell good. And you know what? They moving a little different. I kind of like the way that them earrings hang a little. Stuff that you never noticed about that person before. All of a sudden it starts to become something that stands out a little bit more, or they understand you, or all of this other kind of nonsense and bullcrap that y'all start to lead with that ultimately translates into somebody getting weak or somebody falling for something. And the next thing you know, you didn't know what happened and you don't know how y'all got so attached, but somehow it just happened and y'all got close. Don't fool yourself by thinking that you're stronger than what you really are in real life. You need to do a self-check. You need to do a self-assessment. And that's why I always tell people, your relationship, the marriage that you're in, needs to be stronger than just the things that people are dating for. Stop worrying about what the person always look like. Stop worrying about what they smell like. Stop worrying about the sex and all of this other type of stuff. That's going to be a roller coaster. Whether or not you feeling them today is going to be a roller coaster. Every single day, it's going to be some days you don't want to rock with them. What I'm telling you is that if you're intentional when you look in the court, meaning that you're not trying to date the representative, but you're actually trying to get married, you're going to have to align with people that's going in the direction that you're going in. You're going to have to build up your network so that you can authentically see who the person really is. And you're going to have to be best friends first with the foundation of something that's much stronger than the things that you visually see on a regular basis. And then you won't have to worry about becoming best friends with somebody that's outside of your marriage, because you'll be spending the majority of your time pouring into the person that sleep next to you, instead of trying to find some kind of foundation with people that don't have any bearing in your life whatsoever. That's how you build a successful marriage.
All right. Look, I had to pull the whole clock up on him, and then he stopped.
Lights, camera, cock back the hammer, explosion. Mr. Anton James coming there with the final Hail Mary to close it out and close the game.
Look, let me tell you why I had to bring the clock in, Corey. Because the people in the chat, CC is all in there. Facts. Big guy journey. So true. Never trust your flesh. And this is all while Anton is talking, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Audra, of course, she was in there echoing Shay, but Alicia was echoing Anton. My mom always says that. So, Anton, you're the man. Of course, we know where to find you. Look at Peter. Anton is right again about self-discipline and self-awareness.
You know what? Honestly, I'm just here to support you guys. I love you guys. You know, a lot of people like to say that I'm bigger than what I really am. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I'm one of the OGs. I've been on YouTube for almost 9 years. And so, you know, I've built up a pretty big platform and a pretty great network. But I love you guys. I love what you guys do. The Kosher Clinician, everybody that's on the panel, the ladies, the blind guy, his wife, and their life. Make sure you guys subscribe to their channel. I always celebrate them. I always highlight these guys on my platform. So I do. I just want to say I love you guys and I support you and I absolutely got your back.
Anton,
Thank you.
Thank you. So, guys, check out Anton Daniels' YouTube channel. What is it again, Anton? Tell everybody.
After hours.
You could just Google me, Anton Daniels. I'll be everywhere. I promise you.
And then Kosher Clinician, tell everybody about your channel.
Yes, my channel is the Kosher Clinician.
We can't hardly hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Turn it up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I turned the mic down, but is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. My channel is the Kosher Clinician. My channel more or less harkens to 7 principles that men must go through in order to become optimized. And so go check the channel out. It's growing. Shout out to my man Anton. Man, we got to get together at some point. And like I said, man, this has been a good show. It's been a great show. I love the concept. Blind guy, his wife, their life. I love you guys. And thanks.
Hey, just email me, Kosher Clinician. I'll tap in with you.
How'd I get your email, bro?
It's on my website. It's antondaniels.com.
Got you, brother. Thank you, sir. Be good.
Yeah.
All right. And ladies, we've got your final, you gave your closing remarks. Is there anything else you'd like to say in part before we turn it over to the head coach in my life? We're going to see what she has to say to close it out. So.
No, thank you. I had fun. This was cool. Thank you for inviting me, you all. Nice meeting you, Jessica. I guess we all were in a sister wives situation, theoretically.
I know, right?
On that note.
Absolutely. Anything else, JP? Jessica, what you got?
I'm good. I enjoyed it. I really did. Thank you all.
All right. Well, thank you. How do we say goodbye, Corey? We take our panelists, put them in the green room for a moment.
Yeah, y'all enjoy the virtual champagne, the virtual caviar we supply for you in the green room. Compliments to Mr. Anton Daniels himself.
Yeah.
So how do you want? Is there anything you want to say in summation?
No, you know what? I've enjoyed being a work wife.
Well,
no, not me being a work wife. I've enjoyed having work wives because, of course, you know, as a woman, you respect your man, you love your man as your husband, and you also want him to feel safe. You want him to be safe. So, you know, when he's at work, let's say your husband is in construction, and in this case, Corey was always in the education field. If your husband's in construction, you want him to have all the safety he needs at work. And so for me, that's how the work wives kind of worked out. They were that safety. So like they were saying, when you have work issues that were not related to work, because there really weren't any work issues, but like ride issues, communication issues, because services were down or whatever, it really helps to have that community. Yeah.
And like Anton was saying, it's a unique situation because
we gotta go, Corey.
Yeah, we gotta
go.
You talking. It's a unique situation where these ladies were definitely there for me on several occasions, you know, to help the situation along. Of course, I can't see, so I'm not crossing 4 lanes of highway just to get to a coffee shop or to class. So these ladies were definitely there for me. So we appreciate you. Again, the phraseology is the problem. There's no such thing as a work husband or work wife or work spouse. It's just you're a co-worker, an associate, and you can maybe even develop into a friendship. But again, it's up to you to draw the lines and boundaries that don't disrespect your wife or husband at home. So with that being said, we want to say goodbye to you. Thanks for joining us. And we'll say goodbye in a way to honor my good friend JDP. We'll say, anchors away, my boys. Anchors away.
She was in the Navy.
Yeah, and her husband's in the Navy. He's deployed now. Thanks for defending the country, Brandon. And deuces.
Okay, Corey, so at some point, I'm going to find the outro. We were supposed to say goodbye, but they're just looking at us like smiling and chatting and all that kind of stuff. So I guess this is where we really say goodbye?
Yeah.